Good morning, everyone on the internet, watching on Facebook or YouTube. This is Blind Justice on the streets of Aberdeen, Washington, sitting out in front of City Hall. And this is day 26 of our peaceful protest. Resting is not a crime. And if you're just now tuning in, there was a ordinance passed here at City Hall by the City Council and the Mayor 27 days ago that prohibits sitting or lying down on public sidewalks in the downtown area between 6 a.m. and 11 p.m. So we've been protesting that, and we have a petition printed out now that we've been gathering signatures the last couple days. So if you want to come sign the petition, you agree that these ordinances or this ordinance is unconstitutional, or you think it was poorly researched or poorly worded, or it's not going to help the community, it's just another law in the books that we don't need, or you just want to get me off the sidewalk, then come out and sign the petition. You can contact the page if you want a clipboard full of like petition sheets to go get signatures to. We can get them to you. And good morning. And I'm just doing my update this morning. Alright, brother. Love you, man. So, Stronger Together is the title of this little talk, and there's been lots of confusion about, and I talked about this on one of the previous videos about non-duality, and really it's a schism, right? There's this inclination that people have to think in dualistic terms, or think in dichotomistic terms, that if there's one side, there's got to be a side that's against it. There's got to be opposing sides, like the two-party system. Like this is a weird thing that people just have adopted. And there was a guy, I forget his first name. His last name is Hegel, because he came up with this principle. I want to say it's in the 20th century sometime, early 20th century, early half of the 20th century. And anyway, Hegel, it's called the Hegelian principle. And basically you have thesis versus antithesis, and you get synthesis, right? So with that principle, even though it may seem like there is an idea and then an opposing idea, it's like an argument. When you meld them together, you find the commonality and you find where there's synthesis, right? So in the Western mentality, argument usually has the metaphor of a fight. Because when somebody says, me and so-and-so had an argument, somebody that's hearing says, oh, well, who won, right? You want to know who won, who's the winner. If there's a winner, there's a loser. The metaphor is a fight in most Western thinking. When actually, like, on the eastern side of the world and a lot of places in the world, it's not considered a fight. It's considered an opportunity to share, to learn. It's like a dance is the metaphor, where we share different steps and we teach each other different moves and understand different perspectives. So the Hegelian principle kind of works in that way as well, where you have things that seemingly oppose, thesis v antithesis, and create synthesis, right? So we are stronger together, and so we can find the common ground, and the common ground is probably 95% of what we're all saying is in commonality. There's only a small percentage points where there's disagreement, right? Where there's parts where people think they're against the other side. For instance, people keep confusing and conflating things, saying that we're for people peeing and pooping on the sidewalks, or like, no, I don't think anybody's for that, right? Nobody wants there to be human waste where people walk. That's just silly. Nobody's making that argument, right? And so we want places where people can have sanitation, where they can use the restroom in a safe place, where the waste is then handled and disposed of in a safe manner. So that's just, let's debunk that, because I don't know why people keep saying that people are for that. I don't think anybody's for that, right? Same thing with violating private property. I don't think anybody's for that. Nobody is saying, yeah, people need to be able to sleep on business doorways. Nobody's saying that, okay? We're all saying we want the businesses to thrive. We want the city to thrive. We want humanity to thrive. We want the people in the community, no matter how much money they have or if they have a job or not, to be able to have basic things for human survival, like shelter, food, water, right? A place where they can use the restroom safely and cleanly. I think we all want those things. The question, so where there's disagreement, is how is this going to be done? Okay, and I think that's where there's disagreement. And we really haven't said much on how this is going to be done for the people protesting. We said there's many ways it can be done. There are grants out there, starting at the federal level and the state level, working your way down. So it doesn't even have to hit the city budgets necessarily. One of the things we're pointing out is that the city's focus is on rebuilding historical buildings like the museum, and we've acknowledged, yes, there's a tragic loss. It's not just a building, but the center, the how it brought people together and all the things that operated out of there. We recognize that, but we're talking about what is the priority of the city. Is it putting money into building a building to hold artifacts, or we can build shelters, right? We can build detox centers and things like that. So pulling down grant money or other things, that's one way. My preferred way, my suggested way, would be privately funded, be non-profits, right? Where we can collectively say, hey, this is what we want to put into, this is what we want to build up, this is how we want to do it. So I think we all have agreement in the majority of what's going on in this discussion. It's just a lot of times people use the straw man argument and say, well, they want to try to find a thing that sounds similar to something that they disagree with. So they say, oh, that sounds similar, you must say this, I disagree with that, your whole argument is mute. And that's actually not the case, right? So we're stronger together if we realize we have common ground in the majority of it. And yeah, I think I have some friends here that we're going to chat with. So I'm going to go ahead and log off, and then you guys want to come out and sign the petition, or just come out and talk, whether you agree, you think you disagree, come on, let's have a discussion. All right, Deo Presto Liber.